What's going on, gamers? We got an interesting post here that came from Asha recently, and it's exactly what Microsoft should be doing and what she should be doing, agreeing with other people in the background, and she did it. They decided to make this decision. Obviously, Satya said yes to this, and that's dropping the price of Game Pass, not to $24.99, but to actually $23. This should have been the initial price increase from $20 to $22.99. This is much better. This puts them in a much better situation with a service that actually has value again. So now you can have some type of identity with a service that is giving you good games and also doing something which we knew when we called this out, that was actually making it get more expensive and that it actually did not work. And that was putting Call of Duty on there. They have dropped Call of Duty down from day one now for future releases, which is smart because that's what you have to do. Now look at over here, it says, Game Pass Ultimate has become too expensive for too many players. She said this, right? And this was after what Sean Layden said, right? We know about that post. Starting today, we're dropping the price from $22.99. Sorry, it's dropping the price from $29.99 to $22.99. Guys, this is much better. I have to tell you, I have to say, one thing that I like about this is that we finally see somebody doing something that is pro-consumer. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yeah, this needs to happen. So props to her and for Satya for allowing that to happen. And she says it right here, future Call of Duty titles will no longer join Game Pass Ultimate on day one. They will join this tier the following holiday after launch, about a year later. Okay, so you know what's so good about this? That's kind of what Sony does with their games. And this is what I thought Microsoft should do for certain games. Like Forza should not be there day one. Forza should come like 6 months later. It doesn't matter. You will still let people know that it's going to be on there, right? Like there's games that just do not belong there. And then you would be able to find a balance. So doing this is definitely good. Said about a year later, current Call of Duty titles will remain available to Ultimate subscribers. Yeah, because at this point, you already got what you wanted off of them. There's no need to put them off. You're already in that position to... How can I say this? Yeah, just leave it there. It doesn't really matter. But never make that mistake again and fix things. So she says, we'll keep learning. She's talking about we. She's working with people. And evolving Game Pass to better match what matters to players. Now, that's not a bad post. Honestly, this is finally something positive happening in the Xbox world that needs to happen, but not only in the Xbox world, but also in the PC world, because people that are playing Game Pass on PC obviously do not want to pay $29.99 for it on PC, and for, you know, basically your original base on Xbox that got you this far, or whatever's left over. So yeah, good post by her. Going down, we got some comments. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot of Xbox people. See Money. Yeah, he's an Xbox guy. He says, holy hell, you actually did the thing. $22.99 for Ultimate is insane. You are not messing around, Asha. Great job. Ben says, this new leadership can't stop giving W's, wins, changes. Now, Asha, let's remove paid online multiplayer. I think that's something you'll see with the Helix, because it's going to be a PC. Now, as far as like what's left on the original Xbox, is still a console, and they're not going to go that far, I don't believe. But with the Helix, yeah, I mean, I could see that easily doing that, because you don't charge online for PC. And if you have Game Pass, I mean, it's kind of pretty much there. Cody Switch says, thank you so much for this. Game Pass is packed in 2026. Yes, it is. Now, what's interesting is before we go down to more comments, is removing Call of Duty, which we know was the big negative on Game Pass, because most of the people that were playing on Game Pass since it came out was trying to get it because of all the games that were available. Not having me having to pay more for the same thing I want to do, and I don't want to play Call of Duty because I could just buy that if I want. But what's interesting is if they're going to make a change to any other games in the future, or, you know, not put them day and date like Call of Duty, I wonder. That's what I was saying. It's a game like Forza or whatever, I think that's a game that's worth owning. It's a flagship, you know. But who knows? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's just Call of Duty at the moment. And this gives you an idea of how much this made it go up, because of how much money it cost to get Activision and how much money they were losing putting it on there as well. So when you think about that deduction, yeah, I don't want that game on there if it's going to make Game Pass have to be $29.99. No. So that right there automatically answers the reason why. It had a lot to do with the Activision deal, and it had a lot to do with Call of Duty. Everybody knows this now. Like, I'm just saying, I'm deducting it from you. Think about it. What else could be the reason? Because when you say you're dropping down $29.99 and now you're going from that to $22.99, and then you're saying future Call of Duty titles will no longer be available, this gives you the idea that this is the reason why. And there's a lot of people that don't play Call of Duty. So yeah, if you're trying to make Game Pass an all-you-can-eat buffet, you don't want to put nothing on there that's making that buffet go up that much more. It's not worth it. Plus, you lost money doing it. So it just doesn't work in general. Get your money back a different way and try to raise those subs up. So that's the thing to do. Going down, Nora says, this implies that Call of Duty will continue being a yearly release. That has to change. That's something I also agree with, because I feel like if you let it miss a year, it could be missed, and put a quality into a really good one, it could really last longer. But I think they just wanted to stay seasonal and make as much money as possible. Price decrease is a giant win. This was desperately needed. Game Pass is actually a decent value again. Keep it up. This guy says, what about if we already paid up subscriptions on advance, like mine doesn't expire till October? Will that now go for longer? Nah, man, you already paid. That's it. It's kind of like how it works. You know how that works, guys. So there's nothing that can be done by that. Lon says, this better not be a trend. Every other Microsoft gaming releases needs to still come to Game Pass Ultimate day one. Call of Duty is understandable, but every other game has no excuse. It may be a game like Forza, but I get what he's saying when you think about a tons of other games. That's the thing, though. Yeah, Call of Duty just never belonged on there. If they don't do it, that's not something to really say, to really complain about, because at this point, you kind of already got people conditioned for that, so you can't do that too much. Definitely at the price that it already is, even at that price. So, yeah, that's pretty much going to happen. Now, this says $19.99 or bust. I don't mind paying $30 a month for Ultimate Game Pass. Hold on, bro. Slow down. We're thinking about the common denominator here. This is not going to work. People are here just big crybabies, and you just lost me as an Xbox player because I'm canceling my Ultimate Game Pass because I won't be able to play day one Call of Duty games anymore. Crap that. We got a strange one here coming out of nowhere. Let's just go ahead and say that. No, what he's doing is he's missing the entire idea of a whole catalog of games for a really good price, rather than, oh, I just can't play my Call of Duty. Dude, you can go buy Call of Duty. You're really going to pay $30 a month to buy Call of Duty when 2 months of 30 is almost paying for it. Something is wrong with you. If you want to keep paying for Game Pass to think about Call of Duty, that doesn't make any sense to me. You see what I mean? It's like, what are you talking about? He says, I love Game Pass, but I believe it needs to be modular, so the price can be just right for gamers. Basic, first party only, cheap. Modular, first party plus modules at an extra cost. EA, Ubi, Fortnite, Ultimate, everything. Cheaper than the sum, each model individually. I mean, they'll get to that. But right now, the important thing is that you took that Ultimate tier and you put it down. Not just a couple bucks. So some people are thinking $24.99, but you put it down cheaper than that to $22.99. And that's the right thing. Now let's see how these results work for Microsoft when it comes to people subscribing on mobile, when it comes to people subscribing on PC, and when it comes to people subscribing on Xbox right now. Let's see if this is going to benefit them, where they can get millions of more subs after this. So what they're going to have to do is still make it attractive, because even when it was $19.99, it got up to like, what, 35 million or whatever. But let's see if they can get it back to that. Be honest with the stats, because that's the only way to see how things are improving. And then see what you need to do to make that even more attractive. Because if you can get it up to where it needs to be, like Netflix was doing, then you could possibly think about the quality of your service. You know what I mean? And what you want to do with it. And there's just a lot of stuff to learn about. Because I remember we were hearing about the Netflix combination, right? But right now I'm like, no, don't do that. First, get your service to where if you want to team up with somebody at that degree, you need to raise it up to that value, because I don't think that that's going to work. So here we have it. I want you guys to let me know what you think about this. Now PlayStation Plus has competition again, in a sense of like, yeah, since Microsoft went back to that and they're going to be adding those games like that still day and date, this puts it back above PlayStation Plus and Extra as an individual platform, but it still can't stand as an individual platform because Microsoft has to make its money back by being a third-party publisher by putting those games day and date, like Forza and Gears, because they cost a couple $100 million to make, or like 150 million or something. So you have to make that back by putting it on other platforms. So there we have it. Good news today for the Xbox world. I'm glad to see this. This is not a bad thing. You see where we're at? I like that over here. Later, y'all. Keep on gaming no matter what platform you're on. Peace.